Yo, guys, what's going on? Lucky Cheese 7 is back again to give you guys my live stream discussion slash review on Dead Rock Chapter 7. Also, the second live stream I've done in the same day. Honestly speaking, it has been a while since I've actually done that. It's been quite a while, which I'm not complaining about. I'm honestly not complaining about that because, honestly speaking, it gives me more time to, get more of a chance to interact with you guys because I know usually lately my trend has been like, okay, you get at least a stream from me maybe once or twice a week, but you never really get that like like twice in the same day. So if anything, I like this. I actually like the fact that I can just come in here, do my streams, and then just be able to interact with you guys. Having said that, though, Chapter 7 Dead Rock. I mean, look, Chapter 6 is already something because A, we got Yakuto's backstory, which a lot of us kind of assumed. Okay, it has something to do with God, and then given was the tease we got in Chapter 3 that you saw the village getting destroyed, that kind of led to speculations of, well, you put two and two together, maybe God destroyed his village and he's out for revenge. And while that was kind of the case, now you get the sense of it's not just the fact that he destroyed Yakuto's home village. It's also the revelation of, yo, the god that's ruling over the realm is a phony. He's a fake. So we left off on a real interesting note, and I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see with where we kind of ended up with this in chapter 7. And boy, we have some things to talk about with chapter 7. So let's not beat around the bush here, okay? We're already 2 minutes in, but let's talk about chapter 7. So we get a profile sheet, as we've been getting for the other chapters. This time we get Honey. His root is Thor. He is in class 1F, likes to research, dislikes stupid people, obviously. And we have some notes. His whole body's made of clay. So he's very fragile, but he's got vitality. His root is Thor, obviously, the thunder god, and he wields a lightning hammer. He hits it off with Yakuto for some reason, so they've been together a lot since the entrance exam. His catchphrase is, "Are you stupid?" Obviously, he's easily moved to tears sometimes. And that's it. That's the basic gist of the character profile for Honey. Also, the chapter title is called Curse Velocity, and we'll get to that in a second. But it's interesting that you get a profile for Honey, and then you open up the actual chapter with him in tears, Honey's moved to tears. Frey's kind of taken aback. Reisen's taken aback. Same with Mikoto and Hein, and man, you see how Honey reacts. He's like, Yakuto, you have such a tragic past. I had no idea. Am I stupid? And he's like, Honey, hold on. No, I am stupid. I'll help you out. You see, like that determination. Yes, I'll do it. You're my buddy. I'm going to do what it takes. Then you get Frey. I'm in too, of course. And you see how happy he is. Then you see Reisen, and Reisen's like, sorry, but I ain't interested. Do whatever you want. And then you get Mikoto, and Mikoto's like, my apologies, but I can't give my approval yet. Here's the thing. She says approval yet. Either. So, that's not saying that she's saying she doesn't want to help. She's just saying, for the time being, I don't feel like helping. That's the thing. She never outright confirmed or denied. She just says, for the time being, I'm a step aside. That's all she's saying. And Frey's like, forget about Raisin. Isn't that awfully cold, Mikoto? And you have Raisin over here going what do you mean forget about Raisin? And Then Mikoto says, "Well, there's no proof that what Yakuto told us is true." And Yakuto instantly going like, "You're saying I lied?" And then you got Honey. Hey, look at his eyes! And Raisin's like, "Those black blobs?" And then Frey says, "How about you, Hein?" And Hein's the only one who hasn't really said much. But Hein says this: "If you're planning to kill God, then no, stay right by God's side." And this is something I mentioned, is that one of these classmates was gonna kind of be somewhat of an opposing factor against Yagato. And given kind of with where Hein's character's been, especially in the last chapter, I did kind of think, okay, if any of these characters are going to be the ones to oppose Hein, or not oppose Hein, to oppose Yagato, I could see it being Hein, and that's exactly what we're getting over here. But of course, you get reactions from Frey, Honey, Yagato, and Hein goes on to say, "As I said before, I want to graduate from the school, and there's no way you can win against God." And then of course you get the professor, like just like overhearing things. And then we cut over to what looks to be the library. You got like, and the architecture of it looks like incredible. You've got like these two demonic gargoyles essentially, and they're reading a book. So that obviously just tells you right out the gate that okay, what we're about to enter is a library. Like that, 100% just clarifies it right there. So it's pretty cool. And Honey says, "This is the big library, cursed velocity." And the only, yeah, so pretty much the tag team we have is Honey, Yakuto, and Frey. Which I'll say this. I think if anything, and given how Hero likes to write the stories, ah, Yakuto and Frey, Yaku Frey, confirmed? Not confirmed, but definitely we're leaning more towards that. I mean, I was kind of flirting with the idea of like maybe it's Yakuto and Mikoto, but I think after this, I think especially like after the fact that she wants to help him out, especially given what happened with her sister. Yeah, I can see the possibilities here with these two, especially like after the first chapter too, and given the fact that she does have a crush on Yakuto, does also say a lot too. Mikoto said it's a gigantic labyrinth, is what Frey says. And Yakuto says there should be a book here that will tell us God's weakness. And bro, like one thing I do gotta say is the architecture of like the library looks incredible. Like this is, if it were me, I'm not gonna lie. This would be the kind of library I would love to have. Okay, like if I had like my own, like well, I do have my own place, but like if like say like in the far distant future, I would love to have a place like this. Because look at this, you got like shelves upon shelves, you got like books, tomes, and everything. But not even okay, not exactly like this per se with like skulls and everything. Obviously not that, but like just the way it looks, like the interior of it. It's very eye catching, if you will. But no, like look at this, and you definitely get that medieval sense feeling to it. Given again, you've got the skulls, you got the candles, the chandeliers, the fire pits. It's great. And Frey's like, "Whoa, it's huge." Yagato's like, "It's full of books." To which Honey says, "Yeah, it's a library. Are you stupid?" And then, of course, we got our lovely, friendly, cat girl who we've been seeing since what's it been at? Like chapter two, chapter three? Okay, yeah, no, it was chapter two. Definitely chapter two. But like she's there, she's sitting like on like top of one of the shelves, and she's like, "Hey, been waiting for you." And he's like, "You're dot dot dot." That's what Yakuto says. But then Frey says, "You friends with Yakuto?" And she's like, "More like we're working together. I want to kill God too." That reminds me, this is Yakuto talking. I still don't know your name. And she's like, Zelicia. Wait, let me see if I can say that correctly. Licia. So Zelicia or Zelicia. I think Zelicia sounds better, so I'm gonna go with Zelicia. Zelicia Black Wizard root. So this is interesting because if you go back to Fairy Tale, interesting comparison, right? You have the Black Dragon, Acnologia. You have the fire, the fire dragon, which was Natsu. You have the Black Wizard, who was Zeref, right? The three correlated things. Now, bring that correlation into Dead Rock. You got Yakuto, whose roots are regarded in the Black Dragon. Then you've got Frey, who's got the Fire Wizard. Thus, you've also got now Zalesia, who is the Black Wizard. And if you get the correlations behind that, really says a lot. Actually, well, let's even go further back. So we're actually gonna look back at like one of the older chapters. I believe it was chapter 5, right? Let's look back at chapter 5. So no, not chapter 5. My bad. Chapter 4. So look back at chapter 4. See what we get because it's mentioned here somewhere. Oh, battle Yakuto. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to like detour on this, but I do kind of want to like mention this. Let's see, Dragon Flame. Yeah, okay. So it says right here, a fire wizard and a black dragon. So yeah, so it's like mentioned there. So you got the fire wizard, the black dragon. So the fire wizard, essentially, Frey. Black dragon, Yakuto. Now you have the black wizard, which is Zalesia. And again, correlating that back to fairy tale was Zeref. So interesting how you kind of have like the three pivotal points of fairy tale kind of enrooted into Dead Rock. Now, again, it's not necessarily that it's the same story. Obviously not, because Frey pointed this out here in chapter 4. Is that like I read a story about a battle between a fire wizard and a black dragon, and she's obviously referring to fairy tale. So obviously, what was fairy tale was just like a tome, right? Pretty much like the adventures that Lucy wrote in her like book, I believe. What was this like? The Adventures of Iris. But still, interesting little tidbit right there. But moving forward, it says Zalesia Black Wizard Rude. And Zalesia's like, Black Zalesia. Frey says Black Wizard, you're rather coarse. And Honey says, wait, are you all stupid? And here's what I pointed out. When I did my stream for chapter 6, one of the things I said was a theory that was going around, which was the Choco and, the cat girl theory of like, yo, they wear the same scarf. So, like, and their clothing's almost kind of similar too. Maybe in a weird way, somehow, some way, they could be the same person. And Honey points this out. Like, you see right here, like, he points out, and he's like, "Tis the bird," right? And you see, like, just like how kind of thrown back she was like, look, she's got the same scarf. Again, the same scarf. Side by side comparison. And this was something people brought up since, like, the last chapter. Maybe even the last two chapters, I think. But definitely since chapter 6. So I think it's kind of funny that like Hero kind of threw that in, like, yeah, look, it's the bird. It's the same scarf too. And Frey's like, huh? And Yakuto's like, Chaco-san. And she's like, I'm not a bird, I'm a black wizard. And then you got like Honey teasing her, like, then show us your third foot. That's a piece of cake. Like, you gotta do like how annoyed she gets. And then Honey's like, see, you are stupid, huh? And immediately she starts to get like she starts to blush, like, and Frey's like, you're really Chaka. And Yaguta's like, why did you take on human form? And essentially what she says is, this is how I I really look. My magic's too strong. I usually turn into a bird to suppress it. Interesting, actually, that you kind of have that thrown into the mix. And Frey brings up a very interesting question, and it's like, Zalesia or Chaka? Which name do you want us to call you? And she's like, either one works. And dude, the sass from Honey. Oh my god. He's like, I'll keep calling you Bird then. And I'm gonna just call her Zalesia because Zalesia just sounds cooler. Zalesia's like, that ain't my name. And then you got this one guy over here in the corner saying, hey, keep it down. You're in a library. Hmm. No. Even in my presence. Even in silence, my presence causes a stir. And they all look behind. Like, the hell? Like, who this? He's like, wow, Cougar son. So this guy's name is Cougar. Great poem as always. You gave me the chills. And Cougar looks over at the corner like, poem? Uh, they're lyrics. Boy, if you're under the delusion that they're the poems, say bon appetit to my fist. The knee plus ultra. Hero had to have gotten that from freaking My Hero. Like, the fact that he said the nay plus ultra. It's funny, actually. I think that is him taking a jab at My Hero, to some degree. But Yagato looks. Cougar says, I've been hearing about you new kids. Brute, Red Lion, third year Cougar. Sounds like you got pep. Frey says, did you need something? Hey, you dare talk to Cougar son like that? He's the boss here at school. And Honey's like, the boss? What the heck? Is what Celestia says. He's the strongest at the school. And Honey's like, isn't he the strongest one here? Are you stupid? And the guy says, the strongest student? Duh. And then he says, no. Perhaps my power is a distant Zanadu, surpassing that of even God himself. And then, of course, you got Frey saying, that's some confidence. So, want to battle me? And right then and there, Cougar starts to get flustered. He's like, what a beautiful lady. Trust a bell. And Frey's like, excuse me? And then you got this one guy with the pumpkin head pulling off his things. And you know, when this page popped up, like when he like raps Frey, I initially thought like, oh boy, here we go. Like, there's one thing I know about Hero post Rave Master. He always likes to kind of have like his female leads as in like these rap scenarios, like not necessarily. Well, okay, yeah, tentacles for sure, but well, okay. In the case of Eden Zero, you only had that like one instance in the very beginning. I don't believe you've had. Yeah, the whole tentacle thing in Eden Zero only happened once. I don't think you've had it again since then. But like, I thought, okay, here we go again. But turns out, no. Like, she gets caught in it for sure, but it's like ribbons. But what happens immediately after that is she kind of turns into like a sticker. You got Yakuto screaming Frey. That good Cougar-san? And this guy, he has the root of Jack-o'-lantern. He's a cougar's underling, and his name is Jack. So this guy is Jack. So Jack does this, and not Frey, but Honey's like, Frey turned into candy? What? And Zalessia's like, what the heck? Happy Halloween! Oh, so adorable. Tama! Or some shit like that. But then you got Yakuto screaming, please give her back. And then this big, giant, massive eye appears like out of nowhere in the library, saying, quiet in the library. And you see like the building start to shake, and Yakuto takes note of that. It's kind of like the whole place starts shifting around. And Honey's like, what's going on? Zalessia says, the walls. Crap, when you're loud in the library, you get in trouble with the library guardian. Cougar-san, we have to get out of here before we get trapped inside. Tomorrow! Or yeah, I'm gonna look up the exact pronunciation of that word, and then whenever the stream ends and I get to this part, I'll correct it. But I'm like, you see the library shift. Like the library is kind of shaped like a labyrinth, right? And then you get through all this. So that pulp goes down, and you see the essentially kind of set up confrontation that's about to go down between Yakuto and Cougar, like as whole shifting, and then the eye goes on to say, or the Guardian says, "Quiet in the library." To which you get Honey, get Celestia, and then we cut back over to Reisen, Mikoto, and Hein. And Reisen says, "I never thought you'd choose not to help Yakuto." And she's like, "Oh, I think that's the logical decision." And you notice the Heinz like looking off in the distance. Well, not interested in teaming up with that piece of trash, huh? And, like you see, like how kind of like happy Racing is, but Mikoto's like, I wouldn't say that. Anyway, did you know someone went missing during the entrance exam? And Mikoto's like, yes, everyone's talking about it. Sounds like they still haven't been found yet. And we end off the chapter like with this badass looking dude over here. I wonder if Babel, the Hecatoncheer, is still underground and like now, if I'm to guess this correctly, this is the end of volume 2. And it's a pretty interesting cliffhanger. I'm not gonna lie. Like you end up sorry. I'm fumbling on my words here. But you get the setup here of what's about to go down. They're in the library. You've got Yakuto, Frey, Honey, Celestia, biggest revelation. I think a lot of people kind of predicted. Celestia, of course, or Chaco and Celestia are one and the same. But then you've also got this now setup here where Frey's kind of turned into candy, and Yakuto and Cougar are going to have a little bit of a fight out. The question is, though, how long is this fight going to take place? And I've got a prediction on this because if we look at the last battle that took place, like in the Death Arena, that was approximately 2 chapters. So if I'm bringing that back into account here with this whole ordeal in the library, I do believe that the next chapter will probably be like the end of like it's gonna be like we get the fight and then it's gonna end. I do see that. Now, is Frey gonna make it out of this? I mean, Frey might be fine for the most part, but interesting stuff over there. And I do like with what's being set up here now with like Babel the Hecatonch here. So actually, let me look back at chapter 1 real quick because they mentioned this guy still being underground. So if he's still there, Let me see if he was actually introduced in chapter one. I think he might be, but let me look because I'm gonna actually like go through all the panels and just see. Hekatonshi air. So you got God there, Koto's there. You got the bull over there too. Someone got to be here. See, you got Honey too. Hein. Yeah, okay. Wait a minute. Is that the guy? Yeah, he is. Okay, so he is there. Babel the Hecatoncheir. So yeah, he's still there. So he was introduced in chapter one, but it's interesting that he's still there, which leads me to believe that he's got another role, like a bigger emphasis and importance to the story base. Especially because like if you look at with where we left off, and especially like this being the cliffhanger for not only just the chapter but for volume two, I think that's gonna say a lot about like what kind of role he's gonna play moving forward into volume three and like beyond for Dead Rock. Overall, though, my thoughts on Dead Rock Chapter 7. I'm gonna go ahead and say amazing plus. It was a really, really great chapter, really amazing chapter. Loved I loved how we got the, you know, explanation on who, you know, our little cat girl was, but also kind of getting the answer of like, okay, it is indeed Chaco, but the way Hero went about it not only was amusing, but you know, it made sense too because, like, I mean, it's like what was said. They got the same scarf on, so and it's funny that Honey of all people points it out too. But overall, like I said, chapter is an amazing plus. I do kind of wish we got a little bit more insight as to what was probably going on with God, but of course, he is like the end all be all final boss, right? So of course you can't exactly get everything you want on him, but there's that. I think maybe what would have probably worked a little bit better is say you get a no, I can't say that because you do get some stuff from the library. So yeah, like just minor nitpicks right there. But overall, chapter 7, amazing plus. Can't wait to see what happens next. Hero has been on a roll with Dead. I will say that for certain. Like each chapter has been peak in some way, shape, or form. Like even like if it's like at the smallest level, even if it's not like pure perfection, the lowest I think we've gone so far is like amazing or amazing plus, which is saying a lot about the quality of the story. And like I said, I can't wait to see what happens next. But until the next chapter comes out, guys, that's pretty much all I gotta say when it comes to Dead Rock Chapter 7. Let me know what you guys thoughts were on this chapter. How do you guys feel about the revelation that Choco was, or that our lovable cat girl Celestia was actually Choco? How do you guys feel about the setup that's about to take place between Yakuto and Cougar? And where do you guys think this whole thing's gonna go with Babel, the Hecatoncheir, and like his role moving forward into the story? And aside from that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm Lucky Chi7. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Dead Rock content, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.